today we're going to be talking about why TikTok is the key to growing your audience and growing your visibility. And Lisa Daniel here from Beyond the Hashtag is going to be talking and sharing some tips on how you need to use TikTok and how best to use it to grow your audience. So I'm Bex from Social Media Executive, and I train business owners on social media. And welcome, Lisa. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you're going to be talking about today? I'm really excited.
Yes. Hello, I'm Lisa Danielle, and I am the founder of Beyond the Hashtag. I help businesses, particularly service providers, coaches, experts, get visible on TikTok and teach them how to generate leads specifically using TikTok. And I just think it is such an incredible platform. And if you're not already on it, then you're missing out.
Do you know, and I am on it. I've been on it for probably the same amount of time as Lisa has, but I never really post much content. And obviously I'm not as good as Lisa is at doing the TikTok. But yeah, tell us, Lisa, how long? It's not long since you launched your channel on TikTok, is it?
No, so I started my channel over on TikTok kind of by accident. So it was in March 2023, and I just decided, I'll be really honest, I'd had a glass of wine and I was scrolling TikTok and I saw a couple of accounts who were starting their own challenges, debt-free challenges. There was one lady who wanted to make 100 grand in a year, someone else who was trying to make 250,000. And I thought, you know what, if they're doing it, I'm going to have a go at this. And my goal was significantly smaller than theirs. My goal was to be debt-free in a year. And the debts that I had at the time was £12,500. So I started to post my journey and I decided to do side hustle. So over on TikTok, I am the side hustle sister. I introduce myself every time as, hello, I'm Lisa, I'm the side hustle sister. And last year I paid off £12,500 worth of debt using side hustles on TikTok. So if you ever see me over there, that's exactly what I say every single time.
And it's such a good hook, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
such a good hook. Because I'm like, I know when the first time I saw your channel, I was like, oh, £12,500, that's amazing. I just want to do it. Yeah.
Right. And it was an achievable amount, you know, it was an amount that I think a lot of people could relate to. Anyway, so I started posting. I was trying out different side hustles over a period of a year, and exactly 1 year to the day I paid off the final few pounds of the £12,500, and it was such an amazing journey. I gathered a lot of followers during that time. So during the first 12 months, I think I got to around 45,000 followers, and people were just really behind me. They wanted me to succeed. They wanted to follow the journey. And as the journey progressed, it turned into more than a side hustle. It turned into a business. So I started to sell digital products, and that's where I really learned to understand how powerful the algorithm is over there, and how not only is it just a channel for entertainment, which is primarily what TikTok is about, is an entertainment platform, but there's the algorithm over there is so unbelievably powerful that as a business, you can really, really bring in a huge amount of leads when you've got a good following and you've got people behind you.
And I've heard as well recently that actually lots of people just use TikTok for research. And I know, in fact, Jeanette, one of our members of the social flock, she was saying her daughter, she doesn't use Google, she actually uses TikTok. She searched on TikTok, and my daughter does as well. The amount of things she comes, she goes, oh, Mum, you know, you'll never guess what. And I'm like, where have you heard that? I've heard it on TikTok. And it's
absolutely
because people just learn so much from it, don't they?
That's right. And TikTok is becoming one of the biggest search engines. So 45% of users on TikTok use it as a search engine as well as a social platform. So it's huge, which is a really interesting point, because that's how one of the key parts of becoming searchable on there is by using keywords and getting yourself searchable, because so many people are using it as a search engine. That's one of the kind of key points to how good TikTok can be for visibility.
So it's a little bit about like YouTube really is you've got to really do your keyword research, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Keyword research with your ideal customer, your target market,
exactly
the words they're going to be using, so that you pop up on their search results.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So if once you learn how to work with the algorithm, then the algorithm will put your content in front of your ideal client, even if they're not looking for you. And that's the bit, that's the magic. That's where the magic happens over there.
Yeah. And I love your channel, Lisa, because we used to work together many years ago. Well, shall we just say a couple of years ago? Pretend we're still really young.
More than a couple.
Yeah, at Manchester City Council. And we used to have a lot of fun. And I love your channel because you are just you. You are you. You know, you've got, you know, you show up, whether you've got looking fabulous in all your beautiful hair and makeup, or whether, you know, you've literally, you know, just rolled out of bed some days. And I think
there's more of that.
Yeah, I think I've even seen one where you really weren't feeling well at all, and you just did that video, and I just think it's brilliant because so many people are so nervous about putting themselves in front of the camera, and yet you've really connected with your audience because you are just you know, no apologies, this is who I am. And I think it's
absolutely
just really helped that connection, hasn't it?
It has, and that is one of the great things about TikTok, and it's one of the things that I particularly love about how you really can just show up as you, as your, you know, the word authentic's kind of overused now, but just show up as yourself, and you really can, your customers, your clients and your viewers can get such a different perspective of you. So over on Instagram, it's very much about the kind of perfectly curated content with the nicely done hair and the beautifully clean and tidied house and the matching pajama children and all of that.
Yeah.
And then come and watch my content on TikTok. Very different. I did one a little while ago in the pitch black, walking the dog, carrying a bag of dog poo, and it got thousands and thousands of views. It really doesn't matter. Just show up as you, and I think it's a really key thing. Just show up and say what you've got to say, because people want to hear it the way that you've got to tell it. You know, it's not just about putting out all your key messages and all of that. It's about creating that connection, and that connection then kind of builds your credibility with your customers, and then they go on to become paying customers.
Yeah, and that's it. And this is something that I talk about all the time. It's about building your community, isn't it? I always link it back to when we used to work at the council. We used to have to work with the community and really tap into their needs so that they worked with us and not against us. And that's the same on social media, isn't it? You've got to build that community, you've got to work with them and give them what they need and what they want.
Yeah.
So go on then, Lisa. Why did you choose TikTok to focus on and not any other social media platform?
Well, like I say, it kind of started by accident, but once it grew into more of a business and I was selling digital products on there, I realized really quickly how powerful the algorithm is. So like I just said, once you figure out how you can work with the algorithm, then it will put your content in front of your ideal client even when they're not looking for you. Because I don't know if you know TikTok, but when you open up the platform, it will default to the For You page, the FYP. And when people are scrolling the FYP, 95% of people who see your content on there will have never seen you before, which I think is phenomenal. So the reach, to get to the reach with a brand new audience every time you post, I think is incredible. So the way that the algorithm works over there is its main purpose is to keep people on the platform for as long as possible. That's its main goal.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, all it wants to do is show people content that they like and they enjoy. So the more it can understand what somebody likes and enjoys, and the more it can understand what your piece of content and your account is about, it can marry them up, and then it keeps people on the platform for longer, which makes the algorithm happy and everyone gets rewarded for it. And the way that it does that is understanding what your content is about through your keywords. So on TikTok, your keywords need to be everywhere. They need to be in your name, which is searchable, in your bio, which is searchable, in the script that you're talking about. So make sure you turn your captions on, and when you're talking, the algorithm can sweep through the captions and understand what it's about. In your description and in your hashtags and in any pieces of text that you put on screen, put your keywords everywhere.
And if you're uploading a video that might not be one you've curated on TikTok, I assume the name of the video, would that count as well? The URL, whatever you're calling your video file name?
So I would only ever post content that you've made in either TikTok or CapCut.
Okay.
I wouldn't repurpose content that you've made for Instagram, and I would only ever put captions in from TikTok or CapCut. And I say CapCut because it's owned by TikTok.
Okay.
Outside of that, if you're importing things, it's not going to read it the same. So if you're repurposing content, take your raw piece of footage and put all your captions, your text, all of that kind of stuff on in the app or in CapCut. Okay. And that's how it can understand it. So once it can understand what your piece of content is about, you will know that it's understood, because at the very top, you'll see a search bar. If you click on one of your videos or on one of my videos, you'll see a search bar at the top. And it will either say, find related content, and that means it doesn't know what your video is about. Or it will say some sort of keyword. Now, if you look at mine, they will all say something along the lines of side hustles, make money online, additional income, all of those things. They're all my keywords that my ideal clients are searching for. And all of my videos in that bar at the top, that's what I get categorized. When you're categorized, that's how you know that the algorithm understands what you and your content is about. Yeah. And that's then how it shows it to people who want to see that content, i.e. your ideal clients.
That's really interesting. So it's about being consistent, not like mine where I just fanny around and post a load of random videos. It's really about being consistent. If you want to do it for your business, it's about being consistent, sticking to those keywords, and having those keywords sort of filter through each video.
Every piece of content that you make. Because remember, again, 95% of people have never seen you before.
Yeah.
So keep saying those same things, which is why I introduce myself all the time with that same introduction. And if you know, that introduction that I say about myself has my keywords in there. Hello, I'm Lisa. I'm the Side Hustle Sister. Last year, I paid off £12,500 worth of debt. Paid off debt is in there. That's keywords. Yeah. Using side hustles to generate additional income on TikTok. All of those keywords are all in there in that introduction that I use in practically every video.
Yeah. No, that's brilliant. And people just don't think, do they? They just don't realise how it works. So what are the other things that if businesses are looking at TikTok to use for business, what other things should they be doing that you'd recommend to help them get more visibility?
Okay, so in order to get your video visible, so this is how, again, let me go back to the algorithm and how it works. So you might have heard of the 200 view jail, they call it on TikTok, where you'll see a video and it gets, actually, if you've not heard of it, you'll notice it now. You'll see a video, and you might have experienced it yourself, gets 200 or around 240 views, and then that's it. It doesn't go any further. Okay. And they call it the 200 view jail.
Yeah.
The reason for this is because the algorithm initially shows your content. It says 200 people. I think it's 240. Shows it to 240 people. Based on what the algorithm understands of your content, and it's going to show it to people who it thinks are going to enjoy it. Because again, remember, it only wants people to stay on the platform. So it's going to show it to people who it thinks are going to enjoy it. If those 200 and something people interact with the video, i.e. engage, likes, comments, shares, saves, and they watch it, not just for 1, 2, 3 seconds. Yeah. If they're watching it and engaging with it, it's going to profile those people who are watching, engaging with it, and go, right, what have these people got in common? I'm going to show it to more of those people. Yeah. And that's how you create this snowball effect. So by being really clear on what your video is about, it can match it up to the right people who will enjoy it, comment, engage, watch it, and then it will show it to more people. And that's kind of how it goes along.
Yeah.
But what I always think is really important to say to businesses when using TikTok is it's very easy to get caught up in the vanity metrics of views. And people kind of strive for this viral video, 1 million views. Yeah. I've had a number of videos go viral, and believe me, it's not for the faint-hearted. It becomes a full-time job managing all those comments.
Does it? I would imagine. Yeah.
So for businesses, it's actually not helpful to go ultra viral like that. It's really not, because it's just bringing in a load of people who aren't your ideal client.
Yeah.
And it means that the algorithm's going to get confused. So the next piece of content that you share it's not going to understand what to do with it. So you're going to have to go through this whole process again. So as business owners, we're really only looking, I say 10 times your normal views. If you can only get around 700 views for a piece of content and you get 7,000 views, that is amazing. Like, that is a viral video for you as a business, because we're wanting to maintain good quality views, good quality followers, and therefore good quality leads. Going ultra viral isn't doing that for you.
That's it. And I always say to my client, you know, some of my best content, not on TikTok, because my content's not brilliant on TikTok yet. But you know, I can have quite a low view, say on Facebook, and I might have, you know, I've got one video that keeps circulating. Honestly, it's been out for 5 years, and I keep getting comments nearly every week on it. It's had literally thousands of views. Never had a business inquiry off it. Never. But some of my smaller ones, you know, where I've only had, you know, 100 views, 150, and yet I get a business inquiry from it, and that's what counts. It's about
much more targeted
metric.
Yeah, definitely much more targeted. So let's get beyond that vanity metric of having thousands and thousands of views, because you don't need them. And remember, again, 95% of people on the For You page haven't seen you before. So if you get 200 views, 95% of those 200 views are new watchers. They've never seen you before.
And that's amazing, because actually that's different to any other social media platform, where they tend to share it to your followers first.
Exactly.
And then if you get engagement, you go wider. Whereas TikTok actually is pushing your videos out to a much wider, newer audience than probably what you're going to be seeing on other social media platforms.
That's right. And that's where the magic happens, because new people are seeing your content all the time. And if you get your content right, if you get the format right, if you hook them in straight away and do all of the right things, then it's gonna find new people without them trying to find you.
So all my daughter's friends that follow me on TikTok, is probably not a good idea, really, because they're not really my target audience, are they? They have views though. Probably why I've never got any business off TikTok, but
don't have your friends and family following you. It's not going to help anybody.
But no, it does make me laugh, because it just embarrasses my daughter, which is the most important thing.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
So before we finish, Lisa, then I've got one more question, but before we finish, any other little tips that you want to share with us, for those of us that are looking? And again, as we finish, and if you've got any questions, please do put it in the chat.
Please feel free to ask questions. But it's the hook. It's all about the hook. It's the same on every social platform, but we get 3 seconds, and I think that's generous. I know how quickly I scroll. 3 seconds is quite a long time.
There was some research actually last month that I saw, and they've halved it. They think you've got about 1.4 seconds now, because people are used to consuming content so quickly now, aren't they?
That's right. It's so quick. If you 3 seconds is actually quite a long time when you're scrolling on your phone like that. So I would agree with that. I'd be interested to see that research, because I think the same. So I always advise my customers to do a triple hook. And I say it's what you do, and I clap, what you say, and what they see. So do something visual. I quite often clap, or I'll take a drink, or I'll sit down as I start talking, or I'll do something. I might even lean in and then lean back as I start talking. All kinds of things. Do something visual. Then what you say, make it good. That first couple of seconds, make it good. Make them stop. And then what they see, and I point up here because I always put a caption above my head. Say that caption needs to be something different to what you've just said. Give them a bit of insight into what's coming. If they watch for a bit longer, this is what they're going to find out. But make sure it's different to what you're saying. So a triple hook: what you do, what you say, and what they see. That's my best nugget.
No, I love it. So I have one little question for you. So I have invested in some AI technology video called Opus Clips.
Oh, yeah.
And it automatically takes, so for example, today's YouTube video, I can pop it onto Opus Clips, and it'll create some great little short form automated videos. That I was like thinking, that'd be brilliant. I can put it on TikTok. What's your opinion?
It's really interesting, actually, because I've got a podcaster in my group, and we're having very similar conversations there. And I would say that, yes, it can work, but not in the same way. So you still need to clip it up, and you still need to have that hook in the beginning. So wherever it's clipping it, it needs to have a very strong hook in the beginning. And I would still put some words over the screen in those first few seconds. So it can work, but it doesn't follow the frameworks that I teach for businesses. I teach about very quite structured ways of creating your post. And that, although it's great for additional content, it doesn't really follow the frameworks that I advise. And I would say, see how it performs, but I'm not convinced it's going to do all that well.
No,
I'm afraid to say.
You know what? I'd agree with you. You know, authenticity is much more important, isn't it? And being on that platform, they at the end of the day, they'll know it's come from Opus Clips because they can see the format, and the algorithms will know that. And actually, they're much more passionate about supporting real creators on the platform, aren't they? Who are actually taking time to be part of the community as well, which is really important, isn't it? So but I was just like, you know, we're always looking for shortcuts, aren't we?
I know. I think if you're looking for shortcut, what I would say is use B-roll effectively. Make sure you've got plenty of B-roll in your back pocket to use on the days when you're short on time.
For those that don't know what B-roll is.
Okay, so B-roll, the term B-roll comes from the film industry, and it means, in that sense, it means all the kind of cutaway shots. So it's not on the actors doing something. They might cut to a car driving away, or it might cut to somebody walking through a door or something like that. It's kind of additional scenes that aren't crucial to the plot, if you know what I mean.
They can sort of just pop in.
Yes,
into your video.
So that's now kind of evolved. And in social media terms, it means just kind of clips that you can use, but it's not really the focus of what you're talking about. So I have lots of B-roll where I've just put my phone on a tripod and it's filming me make a cup of tea, or it's filming me typing on my laptop, or writing in a notebook, or it might be from the other perspective, not me doing something, but me seeing something. So it might be me watching, like filming my dog as we're out for a walk together, that kind of stuff. It's just content that's visually quite, you know, it's something for people to look at, but the gold really comes in the text that you put on the screen over it. So use B-roll because it's an easy way to create content. And the really important thing with TikTok is you're consistent, and it's something that a lot of us struggle with, that consistency. And you don't need to be posting every day if you don't want to. I don't. I now post about 3 times a week, in all honesty.
Okay. What would you say the minimum is on TikTok?
I think I'm probably at the minimum now. I think probably 2 to 3 times a week is probably a minimum.
That's what I've been.
But whatever you choose, just make sure you can commit to it. I used to post every day. Over time, I then cut that down. I was doing Monday to Friday, didn't want to post at the weekend. Now I probably do 3 times a week. But whatever it is, just make sure you're consistent. So if you've got a load of B-roll in your back pocket and you're struggling to create a fresh piece of content for that day, just pop a piece of B-roll in, because you don't want the algorithm to penalise you for not posting when it's expecting you to post. So use the B-roll with text over screen to kind of, as you get out of jail cards, if you like.
Yeah, and a bit of music or something. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that's been really interesting. So for those of you that need a bit more help and support from Lisa, you've got a free Facebook group as well that people can join, haven't you?
I do, yeah. So it's beyond the hashtag. No, it's not. Yes, it is beyond the hashtag Get Leads on TikTok. And I share kind of trending audios, content tips, content prompts, all that kind of stuff in there. So please come and join us. It's a free group and I'd love to have you.
And there's loads of helpful tips and advice, and it's just a lovely community. So the link's in the chat. Here it is as well. So please do join, and make sure you're following Lisa on TikTok as well. So thank you so much today, Lisa. That's been so helpful. It's been really good. Again, if you're watching this on catch up, please, if you've got any questions, just pop them in the comments and we will come back to those as well. And, you know, if you do need help and support with any sorts of social media, please do come along and join the social flock. You know, if you think, crikey, I can't create 3 videos a week, then jump on our content writing sessions. We'll do it together. So again, please do ask us any questions, say hello. And thanks once again to Lisa Daniel from Beyond the Hashtag. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks for having me.
And see you again after Christmas, because there'll be no more live streams for a couple of weeks. So we'll see you back in January. Have an amazing Christmas, everybody. See you later. Bye.